Hi, boys and girls. Thanks for joining me today. Does anybody want to know what I'm thinking about today? Today, I'm thinking about recipes. Who here likes to cook? Does anybody have any favorite recipes or traditional recipes that your mom and dad make around the holidays? This recipe I'm looking at today is a very special recipe for a very special cookie. It has shortening, flour, sugar, molasses, eggs, and ginger. Does anybody want to guess what kind of cookie this is? I'll give you a hint. That's right, boys and girls. I'm looking at a recipe for gingerbread men. Who here has ever tasted a gingerbread man? Nobody? Have you ever heard the story of the gingerbread man? Well, for those of you who have not heard the story of the gingerbread man, I'm going to tell it to you today. There was once a little old woman and a little old man, and they lived in a little cottage in the country. The little old woman and the little old man were very happy, except for sometimes the little old woman would get lonely. Every now and then she would say, "I sure wish I had a little boy here to keep me company." The little old man would say, "Well, why don't you just go borrow a little boy?" And the little old woman said, "I don't want a borrowed child. I would like my own son." The little old man thought again and he said, "Well, why don't you make one?" The little old woman thought that this was a marvelous idea. So she decided to gather up some ingredients. She gathered up some eggs and ginger, some flour and butter and sugar, and she got her bowl and her spoon, and she set about making a gingerbread cookie. She stirred and stirred and stirred, and she finally had her dough. She got out her rolling pin and she rolled out her dough until she had enough to cut out the shape of a gingerbread man. She took this gingerbread man and put him on a pan and put him in the oven, and before you know it, the gingerbread man was cooked. So she slowly opened the door of the oven, but much to her surprise and her husband's surprise, the gingerbread man jumped out of the oven and ran out the door, quick as a wink. Well, the gingerbread man ran so fast that the little old woman and the little old man hardly could run after him, but they tried. They ran out the door chasing after him, and he looked back behind him, and he said, "Run, run as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man." Well, soon the little old woman and the little old man had to give up because he had run so far that they couldn't see him anymore. The gingerbread man kept running. Soon he saw a barn where a cow was tied up. The cow said, what do cows say? That's right, the cow said, "Moo." And then he said, "Why don't you move over here so I can take a bite out of you?" The gingerbread man laughed and he said, "I outran a little old woman and a little old man, and I can outrun you, I can." And then he sang his song. "Run, run as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man." The gingerbread man kept running, and the cow could soon see him no longer. The gingerbread man then came to a horse behind a fence. The horse said, what do horses say? That's right, boys and girls. The horse said, "Nay." He said, "Nay, nay, I don't have any hay. I sure would like to take a taste of you, gingerbread man." But the gingerbread man kept running. He laughed and he said, "I outran a little old woman and a little old man and a cow, and I can outrun you, I can." And then he sang his merry song. "Run, run as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man." So the gingerbread man kept running until finally he saw a pig behind a pigsty. The pig said, that's right, the pig said, "Oink, oink." He said, "I am so hungry and you smell so good, gingerbread man. I would love to take a little nibble of you. Won't you move a little closer? The gingerbread man kept running. He said, I have outrun a little old woman and a little old man and a cow and a horse, and I can outrun you, I can. Run, run as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the Gingerbread Man. Feel free to join in on the song with me, because soon the gingerbread man came to a field full of thrashers. They were thrashing the wheat, and the field full of thrashers saw the gingerbread man running. And as soon as they saw him, they dropped their thrashing tools and they ran after him. But the gingerbread man was very confident by this time. He said, I have outrun a little old woman and a little old man, a cow, a horse, and a pig, and I can outrun you, I can. So he sang his song, run, run as fast as you can. You can't catch me, I'm the gingerbread man. Then he came to a field full of mowers, and the mowers were mowing the grass. And the gingerbread man looked at them, and they looked at him, and they dropped their mowers, and they started after him. The gingerbread man called back after them, I have outrun a little old woman and a little old man, a cow, a horse, a pig, a field full of thrashers, and I can outrun you, I can. So he sang his song. Sing it with me. Run, run as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man. Well, by this time, as you can imagine, the gingerbread man was getting a little tired. So he sat down on a rock to rest. He saw that there was a river right in front of him, and he wasn't really sure how he's going to pass that river because, as you know, cookies will get soggy if they're put in water, and they'll just fall apart. So he was thinking about this when a fox came up behind him. The fox said, I've been watching you, gingerbread man, and I can see that you need to get across this river so that nobody can catch you. The gingerbread man said, yeah, I think I need to get across this river. Do you have any good ideas? And the fox said, I surely do. Why don't you jump onto my back and I will take you across. That way you won't get wet. The gingerbread man thought this was a great idea. So he hopped up on the fox's back and the fox started out into the water. Soon the fox was about a quarter way through the river and he said, this water is getting deeper. I think you need to climb up onto my neck. So the gingerbread man climbed up onto the fox's neck. The fox kept swimming, and soon he was at the middle of the river. And the fox said, Gingerbread man, this water is getting deeper still. You need to climb up onto my head so you won't get wet. So the gingerbread man did as the fox told him and climbed up onto his head. When the fox was 3/4 way through the river, he said, Gingerbread man, I really hate to ask you to do this, but I think you're going to have to climb up onto my nose because this water is getting too deep. So the gingerbread man climbed up onto the fox's nose. And as soon as he did this, the fox tossed his nose into the air and up went the gingerbread man and down he came into the fox's mouth and the fox gobbled him up. Never was he seen again. How did you like that story, boys and girls? Did you like it? That is one of my favorite stories. It's got a little bit of a sad ending for the gingerbread man, but clever fox, don't you think? Did you know that there are gingerbread stories from around the world? Here's a couple of examples I'm going to show you today. One is called the runaway rice cake. So this is from China. And in China, they don't eat as many gingerbread cookies as we do, but they eat rice cakes more often. So this book is very similar to the gingerbread boy, but instead of a gingerbread man hopping out of the oven and running away, in this story, it is a rice cake that runs away, and the people chase after him. Just like in our story of the gingerbread man, there's a pig that runs after him, and there are many villagers that run after him. They all have very traditional Chinese clothing. So this must have been written a long time ago because people in China don't usually wear this kind of clothing anymore except for ceremonies. Another one of my favorite gingerbread man stories from around the world is called The Matzo Ball Boy. This story takes place in a community of Jewish people, and a traditional Jewish dish is called matzo balls. So in this story, a woman is lonely, just like in our story of the gingerbread man, and she makes herself a matzo ball. Unfortunately for her, her matzo ball jumps out of the soup pot and runs away. So in this story, the children are running after the matzo ball, and there's some different language in here, like bube for the grandmother, and Schneider, and they run past a synagogue, which is a Jewish temple. So you can learn a lot about Jewish traditions from reading this book. Another book that I would like to share with you that's similar to the Gingerbread Man story is The Big Fat Pancake. This story was actually written before the Gingerbread Man story, and it was written in Germany. And in this story, a pancake runs away from a griddle. Another story that's similar to the Gingerbread Man story is called The Runaway Tortilla. So who do you think eats more tortillas in the world? That's right, people from Mexico or maybe from the southwest of the United States. Although really, a lot of us eat tortillas even here, don't we? This story is set in Mexico. And in this story, a woman makes a tortilla that jumps out of her pan and runs away. You can see that the tortilla runs through the desert. This is how we know. One of the reasons or ways that we know that this is set in the Southwest, because there's more deserts in the Southwest. And some of the animals in this story are indigenous of that area. That means that they live there. So we have a burro that the tortilla runs away from, and some rabbits. And the tortilla also runs away from some snakes, and even some cactus and some iguana. But at the end of the story, instead of a fox, it is a coyote that is the one who eats the tortilla. So, another good example of a gingerbread man story from a different part of the world. The last gingerbread man story that I found to share with you is called The Cajun Cornbread Boy. And in this story, instead of a gingerbread cookie, it's a piece of cornbread from a pan, and he's called the Cajun Cornbread Boy. He's got a sausage mouth and 2 hot chili pepper eyes, and he's very spicy. In fact, he's so spicy that when he runs away, he always says, "Run, Cher, run as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm full of cayenne." Cayenne is a type of spicy pepper. So he says that he's full of cayenne, and that makes him run even faster. He's running through a swamp because this book is set in Louisiana, which is a swampy area in the bayou. And he runs past a fox, and he runs past an alligator. In fact, it is the alligator who takes him across the swamp. And I think you know how this is going to end. Just like our fox in our story, he throws him up in the air and snap, 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 gobbles him up. But to this day, the last page says, you can still hear the Cajun Cornbread Boy singing, "Run, Cher, run as fast as you can." Cher means dear or loved one. So, "Run, Cher, run as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm full of cayenne." I sure hope that you enjoyed learning about all of these different versions of the Gingerbread Man from around the world. If you'd like to look at any of them in more detail, come see me in the library. Bye.